happy Sunday, sunny, I almost said Sunday, sunny Tuesday, because I feel like every day we should count a blessing when we see the sun outside after the rain. So I've got Narrowgate Coffee with you this morning. I'm so excited because I love coffee, and they were nice enough to send me a little my own personal bag here. And so I'm having my mid-morning coffee this morning in my little Franklin mug. How's it going this morning?
Doing great.
Like you
So
said,
I've got Bill and Aaron and Ben with me. So Bill, tell me about this new collaboration or partnership, so to speak, with the coffee. I didn't know you were into coffee until recently.
Yeah, let's don't get rumors started. I'm not the coffee guy, okay? Yeah, I mean, you know the story. We've talked before, years and years ago. This thing got started where the idea that we could actually instill vision, purpose, identity in young men who don't necessarily, in some cases, excel in academia, but they're great with their hands. We thought, what if we could use artistry, to allow guys to express themselves and find a new level of confidence and purpose in life? What if we could do that and then make a difference in society by doing it? So, you know, we've done the leather and the wood thing, and that's where Aaron comes in. These are the coffee guys, not me. The thing that was
But you opened the door.
Maybe. I think they kicked the door down. How's that?
Okay, we'll get Aaron's side of the story here. What's your side of the story on the coffee partnership here?
Yeah, well, a slightly different perspective, but the sharing in the power of craftsmanship and what can happen whenever you introduce craftsmanship to a young man that has never learned about craft before. What can happen in terms of him developing confidence and being able to take other steps of confidence in his life. That's what happened to us. Is we found a new excitement around that being kind of at our core rather than just being awesome coffee roasters. There's a ton of great coffee roasters in Nashville and in the US. We're among them. We like to think that we are. But I think what sets us apart is that we have another thing at the middle of what we're doing that drives us. And it has to do with people a whole lot more than just being great roasters.
Yeah, just for a little history, you started out as a coffee roaster. You were selling your coffee at like Nolensville Farmers Market and other little places, and then you opened a coffee shop in Nolensville. But now that's called something else.
Yep.
And now here you are.
And now here we are. Yeah, it's a strange story, but an exciting one for us. You know, my wife and I started E&B Roasters back in 2016 and did farmers markets around town. Opened up where we had the biggest following for our little brand, which is Nolensville. Still have many friends and family there, but you know there was something different for us and exciting and hopeful that was right around the corner when we opened that cafe. We get a question a lot. You know, the pandemic, is that why you made the change? And it actually isn't. We began this shift about 6 months before the pandemic, and I think that was. Maybe providential timing, but man, it had nothing to do with the pandemic. It had everything to do with heart and finding a new identity as a company that still involved roasting, but also involved people.
Yeah. So Ben, I feel like that's where you come in. You're the roaster there, or help roast the coffee beans there. Tell us about that.
Well, Aaron was pretty much doing all of the roasting for E&B himself until I'd say it was spring 2019. He hired me sight unseen, and I drove from California.
Oh, wow.
And I had zero roasting experience. I was interested in roasting, but I was a barista. So he hired me and trained me for basically 3 days, and then just let me figure it out. And since then, just tried to hone the craft and tried to kind of build. I'm over the operations side of everything that happens here. So yeah, craftsmanship and at any point sharing with other people in the coffee industry and our partners about how to best brew our coffee and teaching them. Just that's our passion. And
yeah.
You still sell your coffee to local places. I know one of my favorite places you sell coffee to is Urban Market. Is that still the case?
It is. They're still one of our strongest partners in the area. There's no doubt. I'm a weekly regular to Urban Market as a customer. So yeah, that's one of the best places you can get it. We've got a couple other partners in Williamson County. The donut shop that took over our space there in Nolensville is still a partner of ours. So you can find us there at Itty Bitty Donuts. One of the great breakfast spots in Nolensville, Birdie's Breakfast. They carry us. We've got a coffee cart out in Spring Hill that's a partner of ours, called Fully Leaded. They're doing a great job.
Oh yeah,
Growing like crazy, and so we're glad to be partnered with them. We've got a new one that's really exciting that's about to happen, and I can't tell you any more about it, but it's local and it's coming, and so I'm super excited. So that's a little teaser for you.
I hate it when you do this to me and you just leave me in. You're not going to tell me. Okay, so Ben, let's talk about coffee because I love to smell the coffee. Is that something that everybody does? Like, I feel like, am I the only one who does that? When I pick up I just have to smell the bag of coffee. This one says hints of nuts and spice. So tell me what's in this. How do you put the spices? Like, I'm always interested in how that works.
Yeah, we were just talking about how common a question that is. Like, how do you get oranges into a coffee? Well, actually, that happens. Coffee is similar to wine and beer and other beverages like that, in that it is so complex that it tricks when you taste it, it tricks your mind into, it tastes just close enough to the first time you had strawberries, and the first time you had an orange, and the first time you are like walnuts. It tricks your mind because there are so many flavors swirling around that are so close to other flavors that you've tasted. So to answer your question, we don't add anything to that coffee. There's two different coffees in there, but they're just coffee. We roast that coffee and we blend it together. But we roast in such a way that these delicate flavors that are very complex can shine through. If you don't roast carefully like that, and it's not easy, but if you don't roast the coffee well, it's just going to taste like coffee. You're not going to be able to discern any complex flavors within it, like hints of nuts and spice.
Okay, so there's no flavors. You didn't add anything to that. That always blows my mind. I've heard that before, but every time I'm always like, what? How does that happen?
Yeah.
So this is not necessarily, you get some beans that are flavored and they're oily. What is the difference between those? Like, they have that oily texture to them.
Yes, there's two things happening there. Some coffee companies do add flavors. After they're roasted, they'll, I'm not sure exactly how you do it, but you add flavorings in order to put things there that weren't there, like vanilla. I really don't know how you do pumpkin. Yeah. The oiliness could be that, but also oil will develop naturally. There's oil in all coffee beans, and when you roast past a certain point, talking light, medium, dark, when you roast to like past medium and into dark, something will happen to the beans where that oil migrates to the surface, and then it looks very shiny. So that's actually a different question. That's a question of roast level rather than the flavor being added.
Okay, so you're getting way over my head now because I'm like, I just noticed that I get these beans, and why do they look like this?
Yeah.
We really like to use the French press. So is there a difference in how you grind the beans and how you use them for French press versus a regular coffee maker or other types of machines?
No, you can use the exact same grind level. Fine to medium is ideal for, like if you get pre-ground Folgers coffee, the way that powder looks, that's the same grind level I would recommend for a drip coffee maker or for French press. Because French press, you can control how bitter, you can control to get it tasting right with time. Instead of a grind size, you let it sit for a certain amount of time and no longer. So yeah, I would grind the same for that. And it's historically been said to ground very coarse, but it's just not as good as grinding it finer.
Okay, see, that answered my question because I've heard the same thing. People have said, no, don't use the fine, use a very coarse for your French press stuff. See, I'm getting all my answers to my questions here. Tell me about the coffee there. Will you guys be open to the public? Will they be able to come in and purchase coffee or buy a cup of coffee there?
A good question. For right now, the answer is no. We're focusing on the craft of roasting and partnering with other folks here in Nashville. We've now even got cafes coming on board with us across the country. And so we're starting there and teaching roasting as a craft to navigate guys that are coming out and have an interest in it. So we're focusing on that for now. Who's to say what we may do in the future, though? We've got some fun dreams out there of maybe having a roastery that's open to the public, and maybe a possibility. We're also kicking around the idea of having maybe a self-checkout kiosk in our main roastery building here where people can come in and buy coffee like from the roaster, roast it that week. whenever they want. So we've got a lot of fun things that we're kicking around.
You get the sense there's a lot of stuff on the horizon that he's not saying right
I
now.
know. I feel like he's holding back on me. I keep asking, but he's not really coming clean.
I'm setting you up for a follow-up.
That's
all.
what he's setting up for a follow-up interview.
Very good, very good, very good. Hey, Bill, what is it like to know that you brought on this coffee? And I know that your other things have kind of gone nationwide, but like here's just another avenue to further Narrowgate Foundation and just further their mission. What is that like to have this on board?
Yeah, you said it. It's a further avenue. It's another avenue that opens up to further the mission of Narrowgate. The thing that we love the most is there's never anybody that joins this family that doesn't have the same attention to craftsmanship and detail that we have. When they join, there's no compromise in quality. They joined as this fully developed team of artisans in their own craft and their own right. But the reason we joined wasn't because of our shared interest and expertise. It was because of our shared interest in trying to leave this place a little bit better than we found it. So if we can do something at the highest level, that national attention-getting level, while still making other people's lives better and instilling confidence and purpose along the way, that's Narrowgate. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, well, thank you for letting me have a little coffee time this morning. It sounds like we're going to have to come back because you've got more things to tell me that you're not telling me today. So
I do have one more to share. I forgot to mention, you asked what's coming next. We can announce that we are rolling out a subscription probably at the end of this month, maybe turn of the month going into May. And so that's going to be something that you'll see happen if you follow us over at narrowgate.coffee.
all right, Narrowgate.
URL, narrowgate.coffee. Yeah. I didn't even know they had .coffee URL. Narrowgate.coffee.
I love that. I mean, how easy is that going to be to find? Just search coffee.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks for joining us this morning. We will check back with you because obviously there's more news coming up soon. You guys go get your coffee. I mean, seriously, the smell. I could just sit here, smell it all day. All right. See you guys. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Donna.
Bye-bye.